Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Edwin, the Comic Jabroni, coming back at you with a new pickups video for Comic Book Wednesday. Today is the 16th of August. Yesterday was the 15th, which was New Comic Book Wednesday. And just wanted to showcase a few of the books that I got. I picked up 8 books. I did go through and read 6 of them. 2 of them I got mostly for the cover. And you're going to know exactly which ones those are. They're mostly the ones that everybody else was just going out for the covers. Beautiful covers, by the way, on that. Everything I got to this week, just DC and Marvel. There were no independent books that really stood out to me, nothing that I was really interested in. And as always, I want to showcase 2 of my slab books, like I always do in every video. The first one on the right, that's Iron Man 282. That is the first appearance of War Machine. It's in a 9.6. And as you can tell, both of these are actually CBCS and they're not CGC slabs. I'm more a fan of CGC in their cases. They look, to me, they look nicer. They're more sleek. But I do like these CBCS cases as well. I like how these honestly show if it's a direct edition or a newsstand, like some of my other ones are. So again, that's a 9.6 Iron Man 282. And then on the left-hand side, got that Uncanny X-Men 266. It's a graded 9.4 off white to white pages. That is the first appearance of Gambit, which it precedes in continuity, because there's another one. I think it's the annual. It's an X-Men annual that actually has a cameo appearance of Gambit. But in the continuity, this Uncanny X-Men 266 precedes that one, even though I believe the annual came out before this comic did. So again, these are 2 of mine. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look at my videos to see if I've shown these off. I don't think I've actually showcased these. I know I remember showing them off when I picked them up, but to actually show them off in one of my pickups like this, I think this is the first time. If not, let me know in the comments, guys. I don't have a huge selection of graded books. I wish I did. I'm getting there. I'm sending more and more books off to get graded, as time rolls on. But again, this is what I got. So pretty much from now on, I might be just showing off books that I've already showed off. So let's go ahead and let's start off with what we got this week. We're going to start with DC. And right off the bat, we're going to start off with one of the books that I picked up mainly for the cover. And this is that Batgirl 25. That is a Josh Middleton cover. And as you know, Middleton came out with that beautiful Batgirl, I think it was 22 B cover that I do have one of. And he's been killing it. But I think a lot of people are onto it, and a lot of comic shops are onto it now. So they're over ordering these. I know there was one, this one was in my sub box, but I looked on the wall and there was at least 3 or 4 more. And I know when that Batgirl 22 came out, there weren't any on the wall. I was lucky to have one in my sub box. So this one I got mainly for the cover. I didn't read it, but can you blame me? Look at that cover. That's beautiful. So the next Josh Middleton cover that I got, this is Aquaman 39. Again, beautiful cover showcasing Queen Mara. Again, I didn't read it. I got it mainly for the cover because I think with covers like these, they're not key issues, but in 5-10 years, covers like these are ones that people are really going to be going out there and looking for. Not because it's a key, but because they want it graded and they want it up on their wall to showcase, to show people, to show it off. So those are the 2 that I got that I didn't read. I didn't go through and didn't read, and I'll be the first to tell you that a lot of times, and I'm a sucker for this, I get a lot of books. I get some books just for the cover, just how beautiful they are. I love these comic artists and the way that they can showcase their talents on these covers. So the next books I did read, and what I want to do is I actually want to go through and talk about the reviews that I've seen online. So let's start with this. Perl number 1. This is a new book by Brian Michael Bendis. It's part of his new, it's kind of like his new comic line within DC. So he's starting off all these new comics in DC, but they're not going to be a part of like if you look, it doesn't say DC on there. It says Jinx World, but it doesn't have the DC symbol. So this is Perl #1. It's about a tattoo artist who's also she's like an assassin. Really, I really dug it. I wasn't a fan of the art, but I like the story. Online and everywhere, I'm getting these reviews from an aggregate score. It's called comicbookroundup.com. Go check them out, guys. That is an awesome website. If you ever wonder, the reviews for a comic book that just came out, you can go to this website and they show you everybody's score. It's not just their score. It's like IGN and the Comic Nerd and just a bunch of different comic book websites. Plus, it shows you user. So if you sign up for not a subscription, but if you just sign up for the website, you can go on there and review comic books yourself. So what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you the critic score, and I'll also give you the user score. So on Perl #1, the critics altogether gave it an 8.6, which is pretty good, I think. And then the users gave it an 8.2. So I'm around that area. I think this was a great book. I'll pick up the second book, and I'll continue on with it. But I would be around the 8.6, 8.5. Wasn't a fan of the art, but this is kind of in the same vein as how Jessica Jones was, back in the day when her first appearance came out. What's also cool about this book, guys, is inside, Brian Michael Bendis has been drawn for Marvel for so long that his contract ended and he came to DC. But this wasn't the first time he had actually written for DC. He had done one comic back in the 90s, and it was an Elseworlds, and it was a Batman book. And he wrote a story, and they actually reprinted it in this book, that Batman story, which I thought was awesome. I didn't know that Brian Michael Bendis had written a Batman story before. Now, it is an Elseworlds, so it's not a Batman story that you would know that it's part of the continuity. It is just his own taking on Batman. So I would definitely go out and get at least one. This is the A cover. There was a B cover, but this is the A cover. This is a first appearance of a brand new character that has never been out. Okay, so I definitely would go out and get this, guys. That's Perl #1. Next book that I got, this is a Jim Lee cover of John Stewart, the Green Lantern. That is Justice League #6. As you guys know, I have been picking up all these Justice Leagues for the past 3 months because this story is awesome. It's bringing the Legion of Doom, which was an old school villain group from like the 70s with the Super Friends. It has Lex Luthor and Joker and Cheetah and Aquaman's villain. It's I'm drawing a blank. I'll put it down here at the bottom. Oh, Black Manta. So it's bringing them all together into comic books. And I think this is the first time that they've ever been in a comic book together. Now, they had been in the cartoons, but this is the first time in comic books. So with Justice League #6, the critics gave it also an 8.6, and the user reviews are 8.0, which I'm right there with it. The 8.6 to 9.0 for me. I loved the story. Joker took a definite a front seat in this issue. So Justice League #6. This is a beautiful Jim Lee cover. I love that. They did have a 1 in 100, which was just a sketch variant. I'm not actually a fan of sketch variants. I like the colors. I like when they get the artist to draw it, and then they get somebody else to come in and put the colors to that artist's rendition. So love this. Beautiful. So let's move on to the last DC book that I got for the week. This right here is Batman 53. That's the B cover. This is a Care Andrews cover. This is a continuation. It kind of finishes up the whole story that happens right after 50, which was the wedding issue. So 51, 52, 53 shows Bruce Wayne as part of a jury. He's like on jury duty. And I don't want to spoil it, but it's kind of him, going through and he's feeling down because of the wedding, and he might have made some mistakes as Batman after that, right? He might have been in a bad place, and being the greatest detective out there, he might not have done some great detective work. So he's on this jury trying to talk this man that he put behind bars, get him off of, get him out of death row or getting sent to prison. Awesome story. I love this cover. I read it online, and I think it's so true. This looks like a video game cover. This right here could be, for the next Batman game, this could be the cover for that game. This is such an awesome cover. I would love to get one or two of these Batman books that I've got graded just to put them up on the wall. So anyways, a critic review was an 8.8 on this one. And the users didn't like it as much because they thought it was just too much talking. And they gave it a 6.7. So after reading the critic reviews and reading the user reviews, I'm in the middle. I would say like 7.5, 7.4. There might have been too much talking, but I like to see Bruce Wayne feel kind of, he's down. So he's trying to talk this jury through why Batman shouldn't be put on a pedestal like everybody in Gotham puts him on. Awesome story. If you have a chance, go pick this up. I'm a huge Batman fan, so I'm always going to pick up Batman books. So that's it for DC for the week. Let's move on to Marvel. First one for Marvel I'm going to show off is this Infinity Wars #2. Now that's the A cover. Remember last week I told you I was going to try to pick up, the A cover and the 1 in 25. Well, my comic shop didn't have that 1 in 25. And then the Tuesday before, this past Tuesday, come to find out there was a chase variant of this, a 1 in 10. And it's the same cover, but it has Requiem or Gamora without the mask on. I try to be slick. I try to show it to my comic shop early to see if maybe they hadn't, picked up on this, but they were all over it. They had those at $40 a piece. I couldn't believe it. I said, no, I'm good. I'll just grab the regular. So Infinity War #2, critics gave it a 6.8, and the users gave it 7.7. I'm probably right where the users are, maybe a 7.5. The art's okay. I love this cover though. And then the story is pretty good. Gamora is just trying to collect all the Infinity Stones so she can get back the piece of her soul, that was stuck in the soul gem so long ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago. So she's just trying to get back that piece of her soul, but she has to get all of the stones first. It's pretty good. I'm going to continue on with this Infinity Wars. It's cool that they came out with this book not too long after the new Marvel movie came out. So that's Infinity Wars #2. That's the A cover. Moving on, a new book came out this week, Edge of Spider-Geddon, #1. So this is with the Spider-Punk, which his first appearance was back in maybe 6-7 years ago with Edge of Spider-Verse. So he's an alternate universe Spider-Man in kind of like a punk type of world. There are a few first appearances in here. There's a punk Hulk and Captain Anarchy instead of Captain America. There's a Captain Anarchy in here. There's also a Kang. Instead of Kang the Conqueror, it's Kang the something like I don't know. He's like a salesman, a businessman. I enjoyed it. The artwork's okay, but I love that cover too. This is the A cover. So Edge of Spider comic book roundup. The critics killed it. It got a 6.6, but the users loved it. 8.1. That's pretty good. So I'm right there with the 8s. I dug it. I enjoyed the story. They're getting back. They're doing. So this is Edge of Spider-Geddon, and I believe in November they're gonna get into actual spider-geddon, which if you know with Spider-Man, they're always doing this like Spider-Verse and Venom-verse and all these and Spider Island. So now they're doing Spider-Geddon. So I'm guessing they're bringing all the Spider-Men back from the different universes for some big thing that's gonna happen. These are huge. I would pick these up, guys, if you have a chance. Anytime these Edge of whatever come out, because one of them is bound to have a first appearance, and it's gonna have a first appearance that people will be looking for. Because if you remember, Edge of Spider-Verse #2 is the first appearance of Spider-Gwen. There's a A cover and a 1 in 25. Well, the A cover is going for $100 to $150 raw, not graded, and then the 1 in 25 is $1,000 book. All right, so when that book came out, it was probably 25 bucks. You probably could have got it for. And now it's $1,000 book. All right, I don't even have one in my collection. I've been out there looking for it. So pick up these Edge of Spider-Geddons. There's going to be first appearances in there that people later on down the line are going to want. Then the last book for the week, and I actually really enjoyed this, Extermination #1. So the critics gave this, let me tell you what the critics and user gave it, and I'll kind of give you a rundown on it. Critics gave it a 7.8. Users loved it, 8.5. And I'm there. I'm 8.5 to 9. I really dig X-Men. I love the old X-Men stuff from the 70s and 80s. The 90s was okay. Going into the 2000, 2005, 2006, I really dug it. And I'm loving this. So this story, if you remember about 6 years ago, they came out with Beast had gone back into the past to pull the original X-Men from the past and bring them to the present to kind of show, the present X-Men, guys, we're messing up. This is what we should be like. Well, those time displaced X-Men never went back. They've stayed in the continuity. They've stayed in the stories. And I believe this Extermination is kind of getting into taking them off the game board. They're kind of rebooting. They're rebooting X-Men, which Marvel does this a lot. They reboot, but I think this time it's really happening. They're really going to reboot X-Men. They're going to get rid of those time displaced X-Men, which kind of sucks because I have 2 or 3 copies of their first appearance, and I dug having the younger X-Men back, in the present with the older X-Men. So this there is somebody out there. I don't want to tell you who. They kind of show you on the last page who's coming from the future or wherever he's coming. He's a time. He can travel through time, and he's out killing them. He's trying to take them off the game board. Don't want to tell you who it is, but there is first appearance in this book. If I were you, I would go grab one of these. So that's what I got for this week. There were 8 books, 6 of them I read. I went through the critic and the user reviews. I dug most of what I got this week. So what are we picking up next week then, guys? Well, let's go DC first. Batman Kings of Fear #1. I'm going to go for the B cover on that. I hope I don't kill his name. It's Bill Sienkiewicz. Great cover. Sienkiewicz covers are awesome. They're beautiful, and he can draw the heck out of some Batman. Next book's going to be Detective Comics 987. As always, I'll go with the B cover. DC, it's almost always going to be B covers for me. And that's a Mark Brooks cover. Then moving on to Teen Titans 21. That's a B cover as well. That's an Alex Garner cover. That's an awesome cover. I love these Teen Titan books and the Super Sons because I really dig Robin right now. I love Damian Wayne as Robin. That's such an awesome character. Moving on to Independence IDW. Just one book is the ongoing Ninja Turtles book. It's going to be number 85. It's going to be the C cover. It's an instant incentive. It's a 1 in 10. But my comic shop, I've been going there for so long. They don't charge me the 1 in 10 price. They charge me cover price. That's a David O'Sullivan cover. Moving on to Marvel. There's only 2 books from Marvel that I'm looking at. Punisher #1, the A cover. That's a Greg Smallwood cover. And Venom #5, continuing on with that Donny Cates story. So incredible. Guys, if you have the chance, go out, get these Venom books. They are awesome. And this is a Ryan Stegman cover, that A cover. That's what I'm looking for. So anyways, guys, hey, thanks a lot for watching the video. As always, if this is your first time catching one of my videos, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell so it'll tell you when I'm uploading. I'm always uploading new videos. Every week I drop 1 video, probably 2. Here in the next couple days, I'm gonna be dropping another video for sure because this past weekend I went to the flea market and I went to a Half Price Books and got something like 30 books that I need to show out. I want to show you guys these books that I got. Hit the like button, write me a comment, man. Tell me what you guys picked up. Definitely love reading those comments. Love seeing what you guys picked up. What did I miss out on? What am I missing out on for next week that I didn't talk about? Let me know. I also want to give a shout out to a website that I go on. When I go on Google and I throw it in my Google machine, just Comic Spec, SPEC, and there's one on there. It's a Google Plus page. It's CBSMT, I want to say it is, and I'll write it down. It's like comic book market trends. But I'll put it down here in the bottom. Check them out, guys. That's where I'm going. You know, almost every day just to see what's hot, what's trending out there, what are people looking at. So, anyways, thanks a lot, guys. This has been Edwin the Comic Jabroni coming at you with a new comic book video pickups. Take it easy. Peace.